Sports fans, if you want to improve your jumping ability, check out BoingVert's complete video system. For a limited time, you can access their incredible training videos for only $7, a savings of over $70. You in? When Josh Smith was cut from the Pistons in December, it sent shockwaves across the NBA. People thought Stan Van Gundy had something stronger than Pepsi in his drink, since getting rid of such a talented player and getting nothing in return seemed such a bad idea from a business standpoint. However, maybe, just maybe, Coach VG sensed something drastic needed to be done, and that cutting Josh Smith would have positive repercussions across the team, business be damned. And wouldn't you know it, the Pistons have ripped off 7 straight wins, some of them ho-hum, some improbable, and some impressive. By now, you've seen most of the numbers with and without Josh Smith, so let's run through the highlights. Through the first 28 games of the season, Josh Smith had the highest usage rate on the team, but also had the lowest true shooting percentage. Not a good mix. Also of note, Jody Meeks only played in 6 of these games, so his effect was negligible. But once Josh Smith got cut, you can see how the usage rates changed. A definite pecking order emerged, with Jennings increasing his usage rate and true shooting in a major way. And you can see a general increase across the board in everyone's shooting percentages with the red line. Looking at this chart, you see huge improvements across the board, except for free throw percentage and fouls. So it's clear that everything is running smoother and faster without Josh Smith on the court, and adding Jody Meeks and Anthony Tolliver. Having gone through tons of footage, I'd like to share some of my general observations on certain plays. Right off the bat, one thing that struck me was how uninterested Josh Smith appeared to me. Just look at these screens he's supposed to be setting and how these kind of plays can be totally demoralizing to a team. Smith seems to just drift around on the perimeter out there, and since he is such a poor shooter, his man can completely gum up the works for everybody else. Watch how he moves without a purpose after screening the ball. He could set a screen for Jennings, then pop out along the baseline for a corner 3. Instead, he winds up next to Jennings, clearly wanting to spot up for a long 2, which he gets when Jennings has no opening because of Smith's positioning. An issue with playing alongside Drummond is that Drummond's roll to the hoop would be negated because Smith's man could just sink low to help without fear of getting burned from the outside. He never seemed to take the opportunity to get the ball down low when it presented itself. On this pick and roll, he could have sprinted down to the block and commanded that position. And all too often, he gets stuck being the only guy out top, forcing him to get back on defense instead of being a force on the glass. One lineup difference that doesn't involve Josh Smith is getting Jody Meeks back on the court healthy. His time with the Lakers convinced me he was a legitimate starting guard in this league, and in the last 7 games, he's been shooting out of his mind. While it's not sustainable, one thing is clear analyzing his success. They're done in lineups with only one big man. With all the extra space and ball movement, Meeks is able to use that beautiful hop to knock down shots. You can see in the top 6 most used lineups over the past 7 games, Meeks is in 5 of them, and he never plays with both Drummond and Monroe together. Brandon Jennings is a completely different beast altogether. Over the last 7 games, his true shooting percentage is 57.9%, even though historically his career average is below 50. This, sports fans, is completely unsustainable, particularly because not much has changed with his shot selection. Many of his shots are over-dribbled contested step-backs, basically low percentage shots. For all the damage Meeks has been doing from the outside, Andre Drummond has been equally devastating down low. His scoring hasn't gone up that much, but his shooting percentage and rebounding numbers certainly have. The only negative is that with more opportunities, he's getting more free throws, and his free throw percentage has plummeted over the last 7 games. Looking at the most played lineups over the last 7 games, it's clear Coach Van Gundy has gravitated towards 4 shooters surrounded by a big man, much like he ran in Orlando with Dwight. This particular lineup has been lethal in a decent sample size, primarily because it utilizes Drummond's rebounding prowess with floor spacers and shooting. DJ Augustin continues to surprise, proving his run with the Bulls last year was no fluke. He is a viable backup point guard that can give you good minutes off the bench every night. In the end, it is still up for debate whether the Pistons did the right thing by cutting Josh Smith. From a coach's perspective, getting rid of a talented head case who wasn't fitting in is always a good move, as evidenced by the cloud that lifted over the team as they appear to be genuinely having fun out there. That said, hot shooting hides a lot of problems, and the Pistons certainly still have some. When Jennings' shooting comes back down to earth, will starting both Monroe and Drummond still be viable? Can they make a serious run at the ace seed or above? Stan Van Gundy has a proven track record with good fundamentals on both sides of the ball, so long as his team buys in. And right now, with addition by subtraction, his team is most certainly buying in.
We just form a fucking wall!
And they've got a very good chance of snaring that 8th spot in what would be one of the best turnarounds of his season in NBA history.